Hey guys, it's your fellow, PADgamer, and today we're going to be doing some, deck stuff with Pocket Monsters. As you guys probably do know, I'm pretty big about the Pokemon TCG community, and that is the Pokemon trading card game community. Yes, I'm one of those idiots that still plays with Pokemon cards. Today I'm really going to do a kind of deck overview of the new Alolan Ninetales GX set, and this deck is relatively new to be considering it's Alolan Ninetales just came out in Guardians Rising, and that set just came out in May of 2017. So it's kind of relatively a new set, but not as new as some of the cards we'll be showcasing here. So basically, it's going to be post rotation to 2017. So it's going to be generally Ancient Origins, Primal Clash, and Mark Guys. They're going to be gone, so we won't be seeing Glassender in this deck, and a few other good cards such as Trainer's Bell. All right. Also, Shaman is commonly run in this deck, just to note. I would change the Alolan Ninetales that I might be showing soon with the Shaman, but that's because it's post-rotation, so I don't care about that. Alright, never mind. So, we're going to start basic with generally just the Pokemon in general. So first, we're running 4 Alolan Vulpix. This is the one from Guardians Rising, and probably the best Alolan Vulpix ever. I've seen decks that don't have Alolan Ninetales in it, of course, run Vulpix, and that means the dreaded Metagross deck. Also the anti kind of counter to Ninetales. So, we have our 4 Alolan Vulpixes. Of course, mine are all reverse, and they have their special attack. As you can see here, it says Beacon. Search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Shuffle your deck. Now, what that would basically do is it's an instant setup. You just get 2 random Pokemon for your deck. Oh, let me remind you, for no energy. That makes this card so good in play. Alright, so of course we're running 4 of those because we need to get some bases down for the Alolan Ninetales. Alright. Now, of course, the big thing, we got 3 Alolan Ninetales GX. You might be asking, why just 3? We're just going to use 3 because we have a 4th Ninetales, which I'll get to in just a moment, but alright, so this is where the deck kind of really runs around. You have Ice Blade, which is basically just 50 damage to any Pokemon you want on the field. You have Blizzard Edge, which is 160 damage for 2 water and a colorless, and you're discarding 2 energy. What I would do is just attach 2 water energies and then discard the colorless. Of course, you have to attach the colorless as well. I'm forgetting everything. And then its GX moves Ice Path GX, removing all the damage counters from Alolan Ninetales to your opponent. That is just fairly good, just to heal up Alolan Ninetales, and then you're hitting your opponent with that massive damage. And I've won games with it, quite a bit. And, I mean, it's not the best GX move, but it's a good one. And you can only use it once per game, so you gotta be wary of it. Most of the time I end up never using it because I'm very precautious with my GX move. Alright, so, as I said before, we have another Alolan Ninetales. This one's not the GX form. This one is in the brand new set, Burning Shadows, which just got released, I think, it was just last Friday. So, this Alolan Ninetales, of course, has its big ability, being Luminous Barrier. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon GX and Pokemon EX. That's massive. Judging by the fact of most people use GXs and EXs in their deck, and shutting that down just kind of really corrupts the deck and make them have to start your cards that will counter Alolan Ninetales, and of course, this sometimes makes me a bit angry when you're going against Metagross, which has a few cards that can shift it. Now, one of the main cards that really can shift it was Lysander. Now it's the your boy Guzma, which is taking its place. But it's really hard to counter sometimes, so if you're having a hard time in game, you put this out, and you're attaching Choice Band to deal 110 with Aura Beam for a water and a colorless, and you're doing a lot of damage, so that's a good other card you're going to put in your deck. Now, as your 2 other general EXs you're going to put in your deck, I chose Manaphy and Glaceon. Glaceon really isn't normally played, but I've teched it in because Glaceon, you're shutting down evolutions. What's the big thing about evolutions? GXs nowadays can evolve. So you have, for a good example, Alolan Ninetales GX, which is an evolution. And Glaceon, of course, just shuts down the evolution. And that can be used against Metagross, but of course we have Pokemon Ranger to kind of counter that. So it's a good card, but it's can be countered, but it's definitely a strong card to use if your opponent can't get the Ranger. The Ranger is prized. As I also said, Manaphy EX. He has free retreat with any Pokemon that has a water energy to it, so it's pretty sweet to run in a water deck. Alright, now for our two of the $40 cards we got here, two Tapu Leles. Again, these are the big pricey cards. These are just the normal arts, $40 each. I think everyone, they're running many decks, most decks, in fact, all decks. All real decks, of course. You run them because of the ability Wonder Tag. When you put it from your hand onto the bench, of course, remember, from your hand onto your bench, you can search your deck for a supporter and put that into your hand. So, essentially, in my opinion, it's better than Shaman, because you can just Wonder Tag for Lily, of course, if it's not prized. You can just do the Shaman effect. Or you can go for Kakui and you're dealing 20 plus damage plus 2 cards. You can go for Sycamore if you have a bad hand or it's the last card in your hand, you're getting 7 cards. You can do N to mess up your opponent's hand. It's just such a nice card. That's why it's $40, and that's why we're going to run 2 of them in our deck. Alright, and for the last of the Pokemon, I believe, we have Tapu Koko. Now, Tapu Koko I just teched in because Flying Flip for 2 colorless is 20 to all your opponent's Pokemon. That's very good when you're using Alolan Ninetales to use its 50 damage to snipe your opponent. And remember, with Alolan Ninetales GX right over here, you're just dealing 50 damage to any one of your opponent's Pokemon. Not just their active, it can be bench Pokemon. So, having Flying Flip in your pocket is really nice, because you can just do Alolan Ninetales GX, it's Ice Blade, you're hitting maybe a Pokemon with 70 HP, and then you're going, you just free retreat if you have Water Energy on it with Manaphy EX, and then you go into Tapu Koko, and they're doing Flying Flip for 20 to all of your opponent's Pokemon, and that Pokemon with, what was it, 70 HP, is now just gone, because you got that Flying Flip on it. Alright, so that's all for the Pokemon. Someone kind of scooped them up. This little pile over here. Alright, now to the big trainers. So, first, Aqua Patch, ×4. All of these ones I have here are from the League Cup. One of them I went to, and I just traded to get a bunch of them. Of course, it's the full Aqua Patch, which is probably the best bling, but we're not trying to bling out the decks, we're just going to go straight to what Aqua Patch does. If any of you guys can remember Dark Patch, for people that were playing longer than me, essentially what you're doing here is you're getting a 1 water energy from your discard and attaching it to one of your benched water Pokemon. That is just a very good thing, especially when you're discarding 2 energies with Ninetales, big, hefty, Blizzard. It's Blizzard Edge. I can't remember things. You're discarding the 2 water energies and then you're alpha patching them to your Pokemon, and that becomes a big thing now with one of the newer cards introduced, hint Guzma. But it just becomes a really useful card, especially when you're running water. Now, 4 choice bands. You're running 4 choice bands just because you want to deal extra damage to GXs. If you don't know, choice band is 30 plus damage to your opponent's GXs or EXs. Now, what other cards do we have here? Alright, we also have our 3 Ns. Of course, N still in standard, will still be. N is each player shuffles their hand into their deck, and then you're drawing as many cards as you have equal to your prize cards. So, it's nice to use if your opponent's in the lead and they took like half of their prize cards, so then they have 3 and you have 6, and you want to get a nice hit on them. Or just want to mess up their hand if they just use their drawing cards to Sylveon GX, and they got nice, good cards in their hand, they're trying to discard your energy. It becomes definitely a useful thing there. What else? 2 Sycamores, because you're going to just generally discard your hand and draw 7 cards. Just to gain new cards, or maybe just need a certain card to power up your Pokemon, and it's really getting the cards don't need out of your way. Alright, now, the big, it's your boy, Guzma, ×2. Guzma's just good because you're switching your opponent's Pokemon and then switching your Pokemon. This has been arguably considered a lot better than the previous Lysander, which was kind of just the first effect. You were switching your opponent's bench Pokemon. Now keep in mind, you have to switch your opponent's bench Pokemon, because if you don't, you can't switch yours. So, it's definitely very good, especially for Ninetales, because what you're doing here is you're using Blizzard Edge, you're discarding the 2 waters. Then, you Guzma, your opponent does their turn, and then let's say they have like a Shaman on the bench, and you want to knock that out. But you don't have any water energy in your hand. You just go, you play Guzma, get out that Shaman, then you go into Tapu Koko. You use 2 Aqua Patches to get the water energy back to your Ninetales, and then you free retreat from Tapu Koko back into Alolan Ninetales, and then you're hitting for 160 again. Actually, no, it would be 190 if you had the Choice Band. So, none of you guys understand what I just said. Let's you play. So, again, it's a very strong card. Now we're going 2 Ultra Balls, because Ultra Ball's a good card. You gotta discard the water energy to use the Aqua Patch. Whew. We also have Lily to draw until you have 6, and if you're doing your first turn, you get 8. Hala, because you're shuffling hand into your deck. It's definitely good if your opponent has like a bad hand, you don't want them to get a better hand. So you're shuffling hand into your deck and drawing 4 cards, unless you use your GX attack, which you get 7. Pokemon Fan Club, really don't know why I run this, but you get 2 basic Pokemon from your deck, shuffle your deck, and then put them into your hand. Or, I guess, Alright, also, my nice Pokemon Ranger. Pokemon Ranger is remove all effects of each player's attacks or something. Yeah, it's really a really debatable card for the effects of what it does. But it's definitely strong because you're using that Ranger to kind of remove maybe, like, if someone was playing Glaceon against me, I could use the Ranger kind of destroy that Glaceon effect, and then I could just hit them for a big damage and knock them out. Now, 2 Energy Lottos just to mainly get the DCEs to power up Ninetales. We got Field Blower here to just get rid of choice bands on your opponent's side, or their stadiums, I guess. You have Professor's Letter to get energies. Don't really know why I run that either. Then Switch, to switch your Pokemon again. Why do I run that? I mean, I guess to get some good stuff with the Aqua Patch strategy. Bodybuilding Dumbbells. Again, now this is a good card because you can just do so much. Oh, okay. You can get 40 plus HP from to your Stage 1 Pokemon that this card is attached to, so it's just such a nice helper to get your little Ninetales to a better, higher HP. Now, 1 Soda, because you want to get that little Ninetales out from Vulpix on your bench. Alright. Now, 2 Rescue Stretchers to get some Pokemon from your discard back into your hand, or into your deck. Brooklet Hill to get basic water Pokemon onto the bench. Lana to... Actually, Lana's brand new, so I'll go over what it does. It's from Burning Shadows. You heal 50 damage from each of your Pokemon that has water energy attached to it. Now, this is debatably good depending on what you're trying to do. Maybe if a lot of your Pokemon were hurt from like Tapu Koko or something, you can just do heal all the damage that was done to them all, if they all have water energy attached to them. But this can be bad in the case where you're trying to hit the, you're using Alolan Ninetales GX to hit, its Ice Path GX, and by doing so, you're healing damage, and you can't transfer that to your opponent, so it makes this problem of you're not doing a lot of damage. It can be a problem, but certainly it's a lot more helpful than it is problematic. And I'm not going to play it if I'm trying to deal damage to him. That would be dumb. And I'll finally Kikui. You're basically just drawing 2 cards and do 20 more damage. You can do, a bit more of a bonus damage, and certainly hitting a lot. Remember, one big league game I think what I got was a Choice Band, and then Kikui, and I think I was going against a Sylveon deck, right? And Sylveon had 200 HP, and I had to get the knockout. I had a Choice Band and Kikui, attached, and played Kikui, and I was able to do 210 damage, and I was able to knock out the Sylveon in 1 shot. Which is good, because they keep on playing Max Potion, which healed all the damage from them. Alright, so Kikui, definitely a really strong card. Now, as finally going to our energies. I run 10 water energies, because I'm really big about how many energies I'm using, and I want to use a lot more, and kind of increase the pull ratio of getting one of these into my hand. Alright. And that's kind of the standard how you're going to power up the Pokemon. Now, finally, we have the 4 DCEs. I got these 2 from Heart Gold Soul Silver, and these are just 2 reverses from Evolutions. Now, these are good because it's 2 colorless energies, and then when you're using Ninetales, you're like, wait, there's no colorless except for the first 2 attacks, and you can just attach water energy for that. And then here's the thing. When you get Alolan Ninetales, you can just attach 2 water and then colorless, and then you're discarding the colorless energy when you're attacking Blizzard Edge, and they can say you don't have another DC in your hand. No problem, just attach water and you can hit another shotgun, and then, I mean, you're down a bit more, but you're still able to hit a lot of damage, and you're able to get those knockouts. Yeah. And that's a big deck if you're going to use Alolan Ninetales GX. It's the deck I run, and the deck I think is going to become a lot more powerful. Alright, and to go over stuff that this deck is good against, and what this deck is bad against. I want to say, this deck is very strong against Volcanion, because Volcanion is weak to water, and basic math here, Alolan Ninetales kind of pulls out on top with the weakness thing. Now, not to say that it will always happen when Ninetales is just going to lose against Volcanion. It's going to happen sometimes, but most of the time I think going against Volcanion, Ninetales will pull out strong. Other things I would say, generally, I guess, because of Glaceon, most evolution lines can be just destroyed with the Glaceon, and it makes it a very strong deck. Then, I guess the only weakness this deck has is, just in general, you have Metagross. I think I mentioned it before at the beginning of the video, and I'm going to mention it here. Metagross is, again, hitting for weakness, and it's just got this good retreat cycle you can use in it. It makes running Ninetales very hard, and especially hard when you're trying to get energy down. And then, again, if you want to play Glaceon, most decks do have Pokemon Ranger, which kind of make Glaceon fall short on everything and makes it just die. So as that goes, I think with Ninetales going on, just with the new introduction of Burning Shadows, it just became so strong with the new normal version of Ninetales and the GX version, making this deck what I think is a great deck to use in my personal deck. Thank you guys all for watching this nice video, and please subscribe if you like to, because if you guys want to see more of this Pokemon stuff, sure, just smash that like button. Also, I might be opening a Burning Shadows booster box, and I didn't want to do it alone, so I might pop in with my brother, and we're going to open it up together. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.